Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope you're having a safe and awesome week. Got a little bit of a Kickstarter update for you. Going to talk about two different comics on Kickstarter right now. The first one being Immortal Era. Now, if you remember a little while back, I did kind of a non-spoilerish review on it, and I got to tell you, it was a great story. I love the art. It's basically a dystopian future where people can't die. And a certain group of people are trying to figure out how they can set the natural balance of life back into motion. Really good story. It's from Finish Line Comics. I was able to read the first two issues thanks to Edward Davis. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Sent us a link a while back and got to read them. It got lost in our email. Long story with that. Finally got around to reading them. He's got all three issues so far that they have up on Kickstarter right now. Check them out. I want to say, don't quote me, check the actual Kickstarter out, but I want to say you can get all three issues for 20 bucks. I mean, to some that seems like that's kind of overpaying for comics, but you gotta realize when you do things like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, this pays not only for the printing and the distribution, you know, when they mail them out to you and whatnot. Most of the time, they also take some of that money to start working on the next issue. Next summer is when they're hoping to release a full trade. And that's always my hope for these Kickstarter and independent companies, you know. Sell a couple of their issues, work up to a trade. Because I've said in the video before, with how I do on Kickstarter, so I don't go broke, because there's so many good comics on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I'll get the first issue if I like it. I know it's kind of weird to say this because, well, if you don't spend money on the other issues, how they are going to get to the trade? But most of the time, they end up working themselves up to a trade. And I'll wait, and I will definitely back that. We're going to be backing this project today, I hope. Very close to the goal. He had there was a $3,000 goal line. I think they're at 1954 from what I saw this morning. Still got 8 days to go. Go to the Kickstarter, read the synopsis, check the artwork out. If it's something you're interested in, 20 bucks for 3 issues, man. That's kind of a steal if you really think about it. It might seem a little expensive, but like I said, it pays for other things in the end. So that's Immortal Era by Finish Line Comics. Make sure you check that out. We'll post a link down in the description. I'll get my good buddy Sean to do that because he's the YouTube guy. Again, good story. Can't say enough great things about it. Very, you know, if you message Finish Line Comics, more often than not, they'll message you back with any questions you have. Really, really friendly group over there. So big shout out to Finish Line Comics. Appreciate anybody who goes out on the limb to create their own comic like y'all did. Like I said, they are so close to their goal, and they have 8 days to go. So check them out. Okay. Now, on to the second Kickstarter I want to talk about, and that is, of course, ad nauseum. If you look at my Instagram, if you look at my Facebook, the Wailing Blade from Comics Tribe. There's only 1 day left. I think they said Friday. I can't remember what time, but they are so close. They set a lofty goal. They did, but I have faith that they're gonna knock it out of the park. If you're into brutal sci-fi, kind of like that futuristic, but seems like it's medieval kind of style, beautiful art, pretty gory, good amount of blood in it. The Wailing Blade is the comic for you. Story is tight. The character of the head taker and the different executioners and their weapons, amazing. Some of the names for these folks, awesome. And I actually have, and if you looked at my Instagram post earlier, I have a picture of all the Comics Tribe books that I have. And I'm really hoping they meet their goal because, A, it's always good to support independent comic creators so they can keep creating these amazing books. Indiegogo and Kickstarter books, to me, are going to be the future. These are going to be the books that make the big guys out there, usually the big three, sometimes the big four, stand up, take notice, and maybe start upping the quality of their books a little bit more. But these people in the future, I'm going to show you a bunch of the books that I have. Like I said, I posted a picture on Instagram, but just in case you really couldn't see it, because it was a lot of books. So here we go. I'll start you with the first character that I learned about from Comics Tribe was Oxymoron. And funny enough, it was a Facebook ad. So I have here a book that's just like collected stories of Oxymoron. This guy is the Joker turned up to 30. There's no Batman in his universe to stop him. There was, and I'll get to that in the next couple books I have. But yeah, Oxymoron, awesome book. Speaking of Oxymoron, this is another story that involves him heavily, and this is it's like a superhero murder mystery. Now, I've reviewed this before. Sean and I have done the second volume together. I did an unboxing for the second one. But this is the Red 10. Yeah. This book right here. I can't remember the year it came out, but I remember reading it and I was like, man, this is only the first half of the story. And I told Tyler James many moons ago, as soon as you have that volume 2 ready, I'm backing it. And lo and behold, the Red 10 Volume 2 came out not too long ago. I think it was last year. I think. I did an unboxing for this. Like I said, Sean and I did a little review on it. Great story if you're into like, I think kind of like Agatha Christie murder mysteries. This is the book for you. It keeps you guessing all the way to the end. And I waited 2-3 years, something like that, for this. And this did not disappoint. So that's the Red 10 Volume 2. Now the next one I have is one of 2 books by Ryan K. Lindsay. Remember I did an unboxing of one of his books not too long ago. I actually did a rapid review on this many moons ago when the channel first started. This is a surf crime noir called Chum. This is an excellent story. Excellent story. If you ever get a chance, I say this all the time, I know I do, but check out comicstribe.com. See if they have any of these books up there. I mean, this is a really good story if you're into those crime noir kind of books. Now, the next thing I have, I didn't actually order it from Comics Tribe. I got lucky. Fun fact, I'm a big fan of Robert Kirkman, and he had released a comic called Die, Die, Die. Well, I had gotten the first couple issues of it, really liked it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get the trade now, because that's what I do with regular comics too. So we went to the comic book store, and I saw the first volume of Die, 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 and I'm like, yeah, I'm picking this up. Well, I happened to walk around to where her kind of, it's kind of like a hodgepodge, is the best way to describe it. And I happened to come across something that I missed out on, but I'm so glad I found, and that is Sync Volume 1 by the incredible John Lees with art by Alex Carmack. I'm sorry I didn't tell you everything on the other books. Look those up, trust me. But yeah, not only did I find Sync Volume 1 still in the wrapping, by the way, I happened to come across Sync Volume 2. This story, there's something about John Lees and Alex Cormack working together, and Sean Lee was also on this one too. There's something about these guys when they get together. It's magic. The story's good. The art matches the story super well. I mean, like if you're wanting to get into something that's I don't want to say American Horror Story-ish, but it's kind of like that anthology setup where everything ends up tying together. Sync is definitely the comic for you. Now the next one I got is, because he is one of my favorite villains, I got Oxymoron, the Loveliest Nightmare. All I gotta say is this character, and this is another thing that I have bugged Tyler James about forever. Their characters, and I know it's not popular nowadays to say this, their characters are so streaming service ready. Now, a lot of times nowadays, people get a lot of flack for they create something specifically to get it put on Netflix or Hulu or whatever. But even before that was a thing, whether it was a cartoon, I think a lot of this stuff would work better in cartoon form. But some of this live action would be great too, which is definitely what the next book is about. But all these characters, but Tyler has told me, they are just interested in making great comics, and they do that 100%. Next one I got, though, I would love to see live action, and that is Scam. Now, this is the best way to describe this book right here is, imagine you had superpowers in Vegas. So it's like Ocean's 11 meets X-Men, kind of. Really good. Look how... this is a thick book. I'm pretty sure I did a review on this one, too. I think I reviewed most of these anyway. But yeah, that's Scam. Good book. Now, the next one I got is pretty recent. I did an unboxing. I did a review for it. And it's another Ryan K. Lindsay book. And that is She at the Tower of All That Is Known. Now, the coolest thing about this, and I know I showed it in the video too, but let me just open this up. Whoop. I'll do it that way so my face is in there. One of the coolest covers for a comic I've ever seen. Really good story. She is an assassin. She is amazing. So, that is She. Now, the last one I got was actually another book that I got very, very early on. And this is another one I've talked about it quite a few times. This book, to me, for me, in my personal opinion, I know I don't speak for everyone, of course. This book, to me, is right up there with Old Man Logan, Kingdom Come, Civil War, Book of Death from Valiant, Harbinger War from Valiant, just so many things. And I've talked about this book from Comics Tribe. This is by far my favorite book. Not taken away from any of the freaking 8 or 9 or 10 or however many I showed you. This is the standard. This book right here, y'all. It's so hard to explain how great this book is. It is a superhero coming out of retirement. So many twists and turns. There's characters in here I wish would have their own spin-offs. Oh man, I wish there was a way for them to do another one of these, but then again, I think this being it just works. The standard. My top Comics Tribe book. Now, I showed you all that because, like I said before, they set a lofty goal. They're very, very close to it. They only have till Friday. I think it's at midnight, but don't quote me on that. I would love to add the Wailing Blade hardcover to this collection. I backed this thing. I backed the Wailing Blade the first second I got the notification that it was up on Kickstarter. It's an amazing sci-fi story. Like I said, it's got that kind of like, it feels like it's back in old Dark Ages, but it's got like a very futuristic Dark Age feel to it. I think it's how I described it before. But make sure that you check out the Wailing Blade. I really, really do not think you will be disappointed. They have so many options, just like the the Immortal Era comic from Finish Line Comics. There's so many different options, and if you know any comic stores, your local comic shop that would be interested, they also, I believe they still have bundles available for stores to get. I'm not sure on the price. I want to say it's pretty pricey, but if you can convince your comic book store to carry these books, I know they would sell. These stories are so good, and like I always say, it's ad nauseum. People get sick of me saying it. These are the future of comics to me. The stories are so good because it's almost like because they have to be. They have to be able to sell. But the Wailing Blade, when I got the first issue, definitely did not disappoint. I know for a fact this hardcover, and I'll find another picture of it and post what the hardcover looks like. This thing's amazing. I would love to add it to my collection. It's an amazing book, and you know, the selfish part of me is, yeah, I want it in my collection, but the bigger part of me is I love to support creators when I can, and I just implore all of you to support. If you love comics, support the creators, support the independent comics, support Kickstarter comics. If Kickstarter's not your thing, check Indiegogo. Indiegogo has a lot of great comics as well. Give something a chance. If you're a comic book fan, give something you normally wouldn't a chance. I promise you there's going to be something out there for you. Now, that's going to do it all for me. Remember, Finish Line Comics still has 8 days to go. Super close to their goal. Comics Tribe, one more day. They're relatively close to their goal as well. So please, if you're interested in these, check out the links below. All different kinds of, if you don't want a physical copy, naturally they have PDF file, all that good stuff. That's going to do it for me. You stay safe, you stay healthy, and we'll catch you next time. Later, tots.